When last we met, we closed a file marked EMIR. I left a door, somewhere at the end of a long corridor, very deliberately ajar. Tonight, we step through it. The room beyond is vast, far larger than the derivatives parlor we explored together. It contains every share you have ever owned, every bond your pension quietly keeps in the dark, every commodity contract, every structured note, every recommendation whispered across a polished desk by a man who calls you by your first name. It is the room in which, for most of Europe's financial history, nothing was quite the same in any two countries at once. And the regulation we are about to examine, or rather, the family of regulations, for this is a story in two acts and several disturbing footnotes, was Europe's attempt to bring order to that room. The first attempt was ambitious. The second was rather more ambitious than many people had hoped. Welcome back to Reg Flicks. I do hope you will stay until the end. They so rarely do. Picture, if you will, the European Union of the late 1990s. 15 member states, 15 national stock exchanges, 15 supervisory cultures. A French broker, wishing to sell a German bond to an Italian client, did not encounter a single market. He encountered paperwork with an accent. This was not a market. It was a patchwork, a quilt of fiefdoms, each one guarded by its national supervisor, each one demanding its own licenses, its own forms, its own ceremonies of obedience. In several member states, the law went further still. Certain transactions in listed shares had to pass through regulated markets under what was politely called the concentration rule. A charming expression. It sounds almost medicinal. In truth, it helped preserve national trading monopolies. Capital, that most restless of substances, was invited to move freely, provided it first completed the correct form, in triplicate, in the correct language, by close of business yesterday. And in Brussels, a question began to take shape, the same question that has haunted every European project since the Treaty of Rome. If we are one union, why are we still so many markets? In 2001, the Belgian Baron Alexandre Lamfalussy chaired the Committee of Wise Men with a singular mission: to fix the slow, inconsistent gears of European financial law. The Lamfalussy process. What emerged was a four-level architecture designed for speed and consistency. Framework principles, the what. Technical details, the how. Supervisory cooperation, the who. Enforcement, the or else. The master plan. This structure supported the 1999 Financial Services Action Plan, a 42-measure roadmap to create a unified single market by 2005. At its core was a massive replacement for the old Investment Services Directive, ISD. MiFID, the Markets in Financial Instruments Directive. MiFID's primary goals were to abolish national concentration rules, monopolies, strengthen the passport for cross-border trading, harmonize conduct and trading rules across the EU. After years of negotiation and literal gallons of coffee, MiFID was officially signed into law in April 2004. Directive 2004/39/EC, known as MiFID I, was adopted in 2004 and implemented in 2007 to create a unified European framework for investment services across the EU's 27 member states. It transformed European financial markets by ending the concentration rule, allowing competition between traditional stock exchanges, investment firms, and new trading venues called MTFs. The directive strengthened the EU passport system, enabling firms authorized in one member state to operate across the Union more easily. It also introduced harmonized investor protection rules, requiring firms to act in clients' best interests, classify clients by sophistication, ensure suitability and appropriateness of services, pursue best execution, manage conflicts of interest, and maintain records. MiFID I was considered one of the most ambitious pieces of European financial legislation of its era. However, its launch was immediately overshadowed by the onset of the global financial crisis, symbolized by the collapse and rescue of Bear Stearns only months after the rules came into force.
Tonight you have witnessed a curious tale, one of harmonized markets, of passporting across borders, of investor protection given form at last. MiFID, they called it, a directive both ambitious and incomplete. You may have thought our story ended, that the curtain has fallen on European financial regulation. How charmingly naive. For in the shadows, something stirs, something larger, something far more thorough. Where MiFID I merely asks questions, MiFID II will demand answers. Where MiFID I politely suggested transparency, MiFID II will compel it. Every trade, every quote, every conversation, recorded, reported, reviewed. Best execution shall no longer be a virtue, it will be a verdict. Research, once a gift, will become a transaction. Dark pools will find themselves illuminated by an uncomfortable light. And those cozy little commission arrangements, let us simply say, they will not survive the next episode. So join us next time, won't you, for the sequel that nobody asked for, and everyone must obey, MiFID II. Coming soon to a compliance department near you. Good night.